My fellow citizens, no people on earth have more cause to be thankful than ours, and this is said reverently, in no spirit of boastfulness in our own strength, but with gratitude to the giver of good, who has blessed us with the conditions which have enabled us to achieve so large a measure of well-being and of happiness. To us as a people, it has been granted to lay the foundations of our national life in a new continent. We are the heirs of the ages, and yet we have had to pay few of the penalties which in other old countries are exacted by the death hand of a bygone civilization. We have not been obliged to fight for our existence against any alien race, and yet our life has called for the vigor and effort which, with the manlier and hardier virtues, wither away. Under such conditions, it would be our own fault if we failed, and the success which we have had in the past, the success which we confidently believe the future will bring, should cause in us no feeling of vainglory, but rather a deep and abiding realization of all which life has offered us, a full acknowledgement of the responsibility which is ours, and a fixed determination to show that under a free government a mighty people can thrive best, alike as regards the things of the body and the things of the soul. Much has been given us, and much will rightfully be expected from us. We have duties to others and duties to ourselves, and we can shrink from neither. We have become a great nation, forced by the fact of its greatness into relations with the other nations of the world, and we must behave as beseems a people with such responsibilities. Toward all other nations, large and small, our attitude must be one of cordial and sincere friendship. We must show not only in our words, but in our deeds, that we are earnestly desirous of securing their goodwill by acting toward them in a spirit of just and generous recognition of all their rights. But justice and generosity in a nation, as in an individual, count most when shown not by the weak, but by the strong. While ever careful to refrain from wrongdoing others, we must be no less insistent that we are not wronged ourselves. We wish peace, but we wish the peace of justice, the peace of righteousness. We wish it because we think it's right and not because we are afraid. No weak nation that acts manfully and justly should ever cause to fear us. And no strong power should ever be able to single us out as a subject of insolent aggression. Our relations with the other powers of the world are important, but still most important are our relations amongst ourselves. Such growth in wealth, in population, and in power as this nation has seen during the century, in a quarter of its national life, is inevitably accompanied by a like growth in the problems which are ever before every nation that rises to greatness. Power invariably means both responsibility and danger. Our forefathers faced certain perils, which we have outgrown. We now face other perils, the very existence of which it was impossible that they should ever foresee. Modern life is both complex and intense, and the tremendous changes wrought by the extraordinary industrial development of the last half-century are felt in marvelous material well-being, which have developed to a very high degree our energy, self-reliance, and individual initiative, have also brought the care and anxiety inseparable from the accumulation of great wealth in industrial centers. Upon the heavy, to ourselves, to the world as it is today, and to the generations yet unborn, there is no good reason why we should fear the future. But there is every reason why we should face it seriously, neither hiding from it ourselves, or hiding from the gravity of the problems before us, nor fearing to approach these problems with the unbending, unflinching purpose to solve them aright. Yet, after all, though the problems are new, though the tasks set before us differ from the tasks set before our fathers who founded and preserved the Republic, the spirit in which these tasks must be undertaken and these problems faced if our duty is to be well done, remains essentially unchanged. We know that self-government is difficult. We know that no people needs such high traits of character as that people which seeks to govern its affairs aright through the freely expressed will of the free men who compose it. But we have faith that we shall not prove false to the memories of the men of the mighty past. They did their great work. They left us a splendid heritage which we now enjoy. We, in our turn, have an assured confidence that we shall be able to leave their heritage unwashed, unwasted, and enlarged to our children and our children's children. To do so, we must show, not merely in great crises, but in the everyday affairs of life, the qualities of practical intelligence, of courage, of hardihood, and endurance, and above all, the power of devotion to a lofty ideal, which made great men who founded this republic in the days of Washington, which made the great men who preserved this republic in the days of Abraham Lincoln. This is the inaugural address of Theodore Roosevelt.
My friends, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain a little. Number one, it's free. Two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you've ever been looking for to make a podcast in one place. Go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's not for you, it's for them. If protecting your loved ones financially is a priority, then getting life insurance is an easy step in helping you accomplish that. It means they would be okay financially if anything were to happen to you. It's more affordable than you think. In fact, most people overestimate the true cost of life insurance by 3 or more times than that. While life insurance can never replace a loved one, it can make the path of recovery easier for those left behind. Reach out to me.